I've had this weird experience that I now have been learning from one of my guides and teachers that they believe that I met my past incarnation in this life, and it caused me to experience a massive expansion in consciousness as a result. And now I look back at my life, I look back at experiences, and like I don't remember them the same anymore. And because when I bounce them off people like family members, they're telling me a different experience that I remember, and it's making me feel like I'm going crazy. But my question is, I've been having these high rises of consciousness where I'm super present, super aware, super there, and then it just drifts away, and then I become like unconscious again, and I wonder how your species, how your kind has dealt with this while they've been like let's say you're born, as a different species, another race, wherever, and your kind is more evolved than our kind. So how would you guys have been teaching your younger species how to deal with the waves of coming and going of presence? I'd really like a tool for that, if that's okay.
Well, first of all, the idea is that you're opening up to being able to experience the concept of parallel realities more concretely. Because past isn't really past, it's just another parallel reality that exists simultaneously with what you consider your present focus to be. So the idea is that you're opening up to being able to experience parallel realities. You'll get used to it. Don't worry about it. Move forward in your life by following the formula. Synchronicity will start arranging things in a way that will make sense in terms of what it is you're tapping into in a parallel reality and how you can use the information that you're tapping into to download it in a way you can apply it in your present life, in your present focus, in a way that benefits you. But you have to be okay with understanding that as you expand your consciousness, you're going to suddenly be aware of all sorts of parallel realities that you're connecting to because you are a greater being that covers more than one reality. So it's just part of the symptoms of expanding your consciousness in this day and age. Allow yourself to follow the formula to allow synchronicity to organize this in a way that you can use it in a practical sense in your physical incarnational experience.
Good day, Bashar. Very
Good day.
excited to meet with you. Very grateful for this opportunity.
It is our passion and our pleasure to interact with you as well. What would you like to discuss?
Well, there are several things. Obviously, first of all, you and I seem to have a similar sense of humor, and I have wondered what role a sense of humor has in the achieving and maintaining a higher vibrational state.
Well, humor is a higher vibrational state because humor fundamentally is an ability to form unexpected associations, unexpected connections to things that people might not ordinarily make connections to. So it is an expansion of your ability to holographically see how things are more connected and to express those connections in what might be considered an unusual way that opens people up to different perspectives.
Hmm. Very good. I just know that you and I are very similar in that sense. I almost feel like we have met sometime in the past or have
Well, you
existed as
do have connections to our general frequency, and therefore it feels familiar to you. Yes.
yes, yes. All right. Secondly,
Yes.
one of my higher flow states that I achieve has been in sports, in participating in sports.
All
Do the
right.
SS, do the SSani have anything equivalent uh, to that? Any
Well,
sort of
yes, we have games, and you might call them sports, but it's not in competition with each other. It's in competition with ourselves.
okay. Well, yes, that's pretty much my attitude. I do like to quote be to win or be victorious, but at the same time, I'm more concerned about how well I perform to a level that I think I should be
Yes, and in
achieving.
that context, everything that we experience is a win. There is no
Right.
winning and losing in our society. There is what did you learn in that experience? And if you learned something and you grew, that's a win. So even though there may be collective involvement, we're all there synchronistically to allow each other to experience our own individual wins, our individual growth in how we experience that particular exercise.
Okay. Delving into extraterrestrial races, if that's okay.
Yes.
Are there any that are actually genetically equivalent to humans on Earth?
Well, very much closely genetically connected, like the Pleiadians, who are, in a sense, your distant cousins.
Right.
So, like that, yes, there are genetic connections between humans on Earth and different species. But after a point, it becomes very, very different, and many alien societies look nothing like you. But there are
Right.
several that do, primarily not only just because of the morphogenetic fields that say this is a efficient form, so they look humanoid or human-like, even though they may not necessarily be directly genetically connected to you in the way that you think, but there are some that are actually truly genetically family,
Right. Okay. So they
such as us.
have they populated the Earth at some point?
There have been times in the past where other societies have taken advantage of the Earth environment for a period of time. Yes.
Okay. All right.
It's part of the history that you don't know.
Right. Okay. And that will be revealed at some point.
Eventually, yes, after open contact.
Okay. Uh, Something I wonder about you specifically, how much do these sessions deplete you, or do they deplete you in any
No,
way?
of course not. Why would they deplete me? Why would I do it if they did?
Well, as a first contact specialist, that being your desired role,
Yes.
that doesn't necessarily mean it wouldn't necessarily have some impact on you per se, I guess.
Well, the impact it has is that it energizes us. It
Okay.
is what we love to do. And therefore, we are operating at a very high frequency. And at a high frequency, we are energized. It never depletes us because we are simply being a conduit for a higher frequency, passing through us, leaving us with energy. It doesn't take energy away from us, it supports us with a higher frequency energy.
Yes, I know. Well, uh, I'm feeling energized just in this little discussion. So I can
All right.
imagine, I guess, that it has quite an impact on you in that case. I,
Yes.
I think that's going to be it.
All right.
I definitely appreciate your time and your dedication.
Again, the dedication is automatic when you are focused on what you love to do. So, we thank you. Aveo.
Avail.
Good day.
Good day.
Hi, Bashar, Alicia here. I wanted to speak about an experience I had maybe 6 years ago relative to our time. And the experience is with Source itself, all that is. And I would describe it as very similar to the sun, but a white ball of energy. And I could imagine, I can still feel it almost being hit with, just fire. I felt like I was being burnt, but I knew it was unconditional love and acceptance. And I remember floating and, just telepathically speaking with Source. And not too long after that, I ended up just shutting the door, shutting off all from metaphysics, quantum mechanics, spirituality, and I just closed it off. And I want to understand why Source decided that would be the opportune moment for me to experience itself. And why, knowing that after experiencing, I would shut it off and completely close that door. And I want to understand what my purpose is, because I still am wanting to understand. And I feel like there's a block that is preventing me from doing so after already knowing and being exposed to a multitude of truths and itself.
Well, you were shown what you actually are, that you are source, you come from source. You are given the vibration to reach for through the challenges in your life. So you shut down the direct connection so that you could climb the ladder by going through and facing the challenges that would ultimately bring you back to being able to connect to that frequency again. But you were given the opportunity to know exactly what that frequency feels like so that you have something to aim for and understand that that's where the challenges that you choose to transform in positive ways will ultimately take you if you keep transforming those challenges. Good day.
Thank you so much for this interaction, Bashar.
It is our passion and our pleasure.
So you've described both the physical body and the personality structure as being the prism through which our pure consciousness is filtered in order to create our physical reality experience.
Yes.
I was wondering, what is the difference then between the personality structure and the physical body?
Well, the personality structure is what determines what the physical body is going to be in terms of how it arranges its DNA components when it is laid out on the blueprint level. Does that make sense? Do you understand?
So the personality structure, the beliefs, thoughts, and emotions do that?
Yes, it's all woven into the structure of the genetics that will reinforce the belief system that is germane for that personality structure to have in order to face the challenges that the soul chose to face in that physical experience. So when the body is being formed, shall we say, when it's being patterned, when it is about to be born physically, the vibrations structure the DNA to structure the body to incorporate the belief systems within that genetic structure, to incorporate it within the personality structure so that that body will express itself, that personality will express itself in the way that is necessary for it to face the challenges it chose to face for the soul's growth. Does that make sense?
Yes, to some degree it makes sense. I will need to absorb it a little more, but
All right.
so all of those, so it sounds like the beliefs part of the personality structure comes before anything else. Is
In the forming of the personality, yes, the belief systems have to be there. Now, there is some looseness to it at the beginning, and the looseness is crystallized and solidified over a brief period of time, over a few years, when the belief system is also willing to absorb belief systems from its surroundings, from its parents, its schooling, its society, so on and so forth, to complete the picture that that personality needs in order to face the challenges in the way it needs to face those challenges, to learn, to grow, and to have the experience it chose to have. So the genetics are arranged with some structure, but also arranged to allow for some belief systems from its environment to come in to complete the structure that it will then face as a physical persona growing up.
okay, and so that's almost set in stone after a certain age.
Yes, somewhere around 7 years of age, 9 years of age, it becomes more crystallized, and now you are on the momentum, you're on the path of experiencing the challenges you chose to experience for your soul's growth.
Okay, but we're still able to change our beliefs. We've been told that we can.
But that's part of the process of the soul growing, is to learn how to do that.
Okay.
That's what you set yourself up to do. I'm going to impose these particular belief systems that I will have the opportunity to change. It is that process of change that allows the soul to discover something new and to grow. So you set yourself up with things that ideally you will be able to change.
I see. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. The next question I have is about as above, so below.
Yes.
You say everything in physical reality has a spirit version of itself.
First. Yes.
Okay.
So in a sense, it's really more like anything in spirit has potentially a physical version if relevant. There are more things in spirit than there are on earth. As is in your text, there are more things in heaven than you imagine in your philosophy. So there are more things in spirit than you experience on earth, because not everything is relevant to experience in the physical way. But everything that is physical has a component in spirit first.
Okay. How would something like a disease that is in physical reality that we see the symptoms of, how would that look in spirit, for example?
As a pattern of energy that is, from your perspective, potentially discordant.
Okay, so there can be discordant things in spirit, anything.
Well, let me put it this way. It's like a blueprint. I'm going to have this experience of this disease, which is something that is representative of being out of balance with my core frequency. So, as a blueprint, you may see it as something that looks like it's slightly shifted off of the center core essential frequency in a way that would cause a discordant harmonic between the two, just to put it in energy terms.
Okay, makes sense. All right. Now I have some questions about the social experiment.
Yes.
Um, Now for the letter we sent out,
Yeah.
it was signed the Interstellar Alliance Social Experiment Group,
Yes.
uh, and I'm a member of that. I've been doing the steps,
All
but
right.
I didn't consciously write the letter. I was just wondering who actually wrote it, and how did you use our consciousnesses in
In
writing the
exactly
letter?
the same way that you are experiencing conversation with us now. We downloaded it to the channel, who then translated it into words on his computer.
Okay. Um, so it's a reflection of our collective higher mind, the
Always.
letter. Hmm. Okay. And that's, I guess, how all the social experiment steps were created as well.
Yes. But it's also a reflection of something that allows us to observe the reactions of individuals who choose to participate.
Now, what will happen if people want to embellish the ID cards or
The degree
more?
to which that might be done, even though we are suggesting that it may not necessarily be done, will again tell us something about the way people perceive things, how they approach things, how they interact with things. And that's part of the reason for this social experiment, is not only for you to utilize these things to your own effect and your own advantage, but for us to observe what happens when you do them, when you align with it, or when you do something different than we suggested.
Okay. Um, on that same general theme, I sent a letter out to one of my senators, and he suggested that I call someone who worked under him, who's in charge of the space aspect of his work, I guess, and to talk about this subject with him. And I felt
All right.
excited to do that, but then I thought maybe this is going out of the bounds of the social experiment since it was connected to the letter. Do you have any guidance on that?
You may have a conversation. It depends on what the subject is. But again, you can also turn them on to the idea of the origin of that letter and let them discover things for themselves. But it's all right to have a conversation about subjects that are similar to what is covered in the letter.
Okay.
All we are basically saying is, you don't necessarily have to explain what the social experiment is to them, but you can certainly discuss subjects that are contained within the idea of the social experiment, like the existence of extraterrestrial beings and the desire for disclosure and things like that.
Okay, and I can refer them to bashar.org for the
If they
official.
wish to understand the actual parameters involved in the social experiment, yes, that you don't have to explain. They can find that out for themselves. But you can certainly have discussions about subjects that are peripheral to what the letter is about.
Okay. does a white flower symbolize to the collective consciousness of the Interstellar Alliance?
The opening of consciousness to higher vibrations, to higher light.
Okay. All right. Well, I thank you very much. I love you very much. And thank you so much for this interaction.
Our unconditional love to you as well. Aveo. Good day.
Okay.
Hello, Bashar and Darryl. My name is Medina. So my question is, I'm really curious what happens to children during this transformation. How are they handling this? What's happening during this shifting to this fifth dimensional earth? Are they automatically shifting, or do they need to also work on themselves to get into higher frequency? Are they naturally in high frequency? I have two boys, 12 and 8, and I would love for us to be on the same frequency, and I always think about it. Even though I work on myself, my husband works on himself, and we try to help them as well, but they are kids. So please let me know everything is okay. Thank you.
Everything is okay. That's really all you need to focus on. Everyone has their own path. You will always all be together at some point, whether it's physically or not. You're going to a fourth density Earth. Fifth density is non-physical. You're tapping into fifth density energy to imbue it in your third density body so that you can experience a fourth density physical reality. Kids are very intuitive. They're very still connected more than a lot of adults to the idea of spirit. But of course, it's all about what path they have chosen, what themes they are exploring, and what they're picking up from the adults in their society as to how they are capable or not of dealing with what they face in life. So the more you are willing to be creative and imaginative, allowing them to discover for themselves their self-empowerment, what their passion is all about, to learn the things they need to learn to thrive in physical reality by adopting their excitement to those lessons, rather than diminishing their excitement to learn those things, then ultimately you will have to know that they will be okay. And when and where it is important and relevant for you to be together, you will be together. So we would simply suggest that you don't worry about it, because that's a negative vibration that will actually cause things to take longer for you to experience the idea of the connection between all of you and your family. But you will always be members of a soul family, no matter how or where or when you experience that. So ultimately, everything is okay. Start relaxing into the flow of the way things unfold. Do not worry negatively so much about where they're going to wind up. They are infinite and indestructible spirits, just like you are, even though they may present themselves as physical children right now. So you have to see them for the spirits that they are and the journeys that they chose to experience for their own soul's growth. You have to see them as strong enough to handle anything, even though it may seem from time to time that their physical personalities may be a little lost or confused or uncertain. It's okay. It's part of the process of them allowing themselves to remember who they truly are. And as long as you are lovingly reminding them of that, especially by being a living example of who you are, then they'll take their cue from you when and where it's relevant for them to do so. So again, don't worry. Everything is okay.
Hello, Bashar and Company. My question is in regards to planet that has been dubbed K2-18b. I was just wondering if you'd be able to tell us anything about this planet. It's been speculated that it's a gas planet or that it's a ocean planet. It's also apparently the James Webb Space Telescope has found evidence of carbon dioxide and methane, which is indicative of life, at least as far as we know it. So I was just wondering if you could verify any of this, or what you could tell us about this planet that would be of interest to us, and including maybe whether we will be visiting it anytime in my lifetime. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.
You will not visit the planet in your lifetime physically. You can certainly visit it astrally. There is life there, is an aquatic form of life. Eventually you will realize that, but not for many years.
Hello, dear Bashar.
Good day.
My question, can you hear me?
Yes.
My question today is about the Tucson, Arizona portals. Some friends took me we hiked to a portal. It was a very large saguaro cactus, and we stood under it, and it had the most incredible loving feeling that I've ever felt. My friend channeled 2 Andromedans while we were there that said that they were very happy that we were there and that they liked it when people came to see them. And I really want to go back there a lot.
Aww.
Then that same day we went on Mount Lemon, and we went to the Hoodoos, where there was a huge, she said it's a massive portal where lots of ships, different ships and races go in and out all the time. It was very chaotic and loud and very, very noisy. So my question to you is, do you agree that those are portals? I mean, what I felt was real.
Yes. The idea is most people don't understand that from a certain point of view, your world is like Swiss cheese. There's holes everywhere. There's comings and goings everywhere. There are portals, some of them stronger, some of them weaker, but there are portals everywhere connecting you to different dimensions that are often used by higher frequency beings to travel and to connect to those different dimensions, or to pass through from one dimension to another, maybe simply using your portal as a transition point. So your world is very much like full of holes.
Oh, that's wonderful. A quick question more, and my last one is that many years ago I had a past life regression or a soul retrieval or something, I don't remember, with a lady, and deep sleep, whatever, I was in a trance or whatever. She told me that my mother, after it was over, she told me that my mother was an earth angel. My mother's passed away in 2005. And that my mother preferred the life that she once had, where she was a woman called a nail. And she had long, dark hair, which my mother did not in real life. Yeah. And she told me that she would always be with me, and that if I ever needed her, I have this blanket. She explained this blanket that I still have, and that I could just get that blanket and put it on me, and she would be there, or I didn't even need to put the blanket on. Yeah. So is my mother always going to be an earth angel like that, hovering around the earth?
Well, you understand that the term angel doesn't mean she's actually literally from the angelic realm. It just means that she is of a vibration where she is willing to be of assistance, to be a guide, to assist and help wherever she is needed, and that she prefers that state of being. She prefers that representation because that to her feels more like her true self. It feels more like home. So, yes, of course. Now, beings on the other side have their own lives. They're not just hanging around waiting for you, but they will be there when you need them, because time for them is not what it is for you. And as soon as you truly need them, they can be there instantaneously. And they're always willing to do so because they are full of unconditional love for you.
Will she always be that kind of person on the other side, or will she eventually move on to do something else?
Everyone moves on, but that doesn't mean you still can't access that part of her, because that always exists as a part of her greater being. It just depends on what her focus is on her journey for herself, but that doesn't mean that those parts within them are not always available to those that need them, because that's what it means to be a greater being, is you are many things to many people, and each individual can call upon the aspect of the greater being that they are familiar with, that they may need assistance from.
Okay, thank you so much. I love you so much, and thank you for this interaction today.
You are welcome. Our unconditional love to you as well. Good day.
Good day. Aveo.
Aveo.
Hi, Bashar. This is a question to a dream I had the other day. I was in this room I often go to, and together was my brother. And in the room there was these white tulips that I was being told that if I wanted to have a higher and deeper connection to you, I could eat one of them or more. I ate 3 or 4 and thinking these white tulips are a little bit too unreal to be real. And I remember the taste of them and eating them. You were very present in the room the whole time. There was also a woman there observing the action of my brother and me, and she asked me why we did so. And I asked and explained to her. And then she said, if you really want to have this connection, I have the real one. And she gave me one flower. And I observed it, and the flower head of the white tulips, I could see all the pattern, like if I saw it under a microscope, holding it in my hands. Those white fluorescent colors going through the pattern of the flower. I ate it. It was very different taste. And I want to ask you, do you have any connection to the white tulips, and what would this dream mean to you? Thank you.
This is, in some sense, what we just talked about in terms of the symbol of a white flower, meaning that it is a permission slip symbolically presented in the form of a flower, energetically speaking, that allows you to open up to higher frequencies of consciousness, to open up to the light, the higher light. So it is a kind of energetic astral tool that is presented in a way that you understand as a life form, the flower, that allows, when you absorb it, things to open up within your consciousness as a flower opens to the light, but the different flavors represent opening up to different things, different energies, different frequencies, different realities. So that's basically what it represents as an astral experience that you had using those symbols that are representative of different forms of life on our planet and other planets and other dimensions, such as flowers, but they have that symbolic, energetic meaning as a permission slip. And therefore, ingesting them in the way that you did as an astral being allows your energy to open up to higher light, to experience more connections to more dimensions of reality.